Hello and welcome friends. I am your Geography Guruji Sandeep. So in my channel you will get lessons on geography which will help you in clearing UGC NET-JRF and several entrance exams of universities like JNUEE, Jamia and like all India and state competitive exams like UPSC and PCS. So today's lesson is interior of the earth. So let's get started. So we live on the surface of the earth, but beneath our feet there is layers which consist our earth. So how did scientists discovered about the interior of our earth? So basically from two ways, two types of indicators, two types of evidences that help scientists and uh, geologists to help understand the interior of our earth are first the rock samples. Our earth is composed of several rocks and minerals. So the rock that constitute our earth's crust gives us indirect evidences about the interior of our earth. And the second thing about this rock samples that rocks from inside the earth gives our scientists and geologists clues about earth's structure. So in order to decipher the structure of our earth's interior, geologists have drilled holes as much as 12 kilometer deep into earth. The drills bring up samples of rocks that can be used to make inferences about the conditions of our earth's interior. And sometimes forces inside the earth blast rock to the surface from depths of more than 100 kilometers. These rocks provide more information about earth's interior. In order to understand this in simple language, you have all heard about the volcanic eruption. It erupts lava from the earth's core, from the earth's interior, and rocks. These rocks tells us about the secret hiding deep inside our earth. And the second thing from which geologists have came to know about the interior of the earth is the seismic waves. Seismic waves are the waves which are generated during earthquake. So since geologists cannot look inside the earth, they must rely on different methods of observation. So when earthquakes occur, they produce seismic waves. Geologists record these seismic waves and study how they travel through the earth, and the speed of the seismic waves and paths they take reveal the structure of the earth. So we know that the seismic waves, they have different speed through different medium. For example, they have different speed when they travel through liquid medium or semi-liquid medium, or for that matter any hard surface. So using this data, this all this data, geologists have deciphered that earth is made up of several layers, and each layer surrounds a layer beneath it. It's like concentric layer which you see in onion. You can compare the structure of the earth to an onion. The onion is made up of layers, and similarly our earth is made up of different layers. So there are three major layers which scientists have identified. First is crust. Beneath this crust is mantle, and beneath this is the core of the earth. The three main layers are the crust, the mantle, and the core. And the size, composition, temperature, and pressure of these three layers vary greatly. For example, temperature. At about 20 meters from below the Earth's surface, rock begins to get warmer. For every 40 meters that you descend from that point, the temperature rises 1 degree Celsius. The rapid rise of temperature continues for several tens of kilometers and continues to grow hotter and hotter approaching the core. The high temperature inside the Earth are a result of heat left over from the formation of the planet. And pressure, the more you descend inside the Earth's interior, the amount of pressure increases. The pressure results from a force pressing on an area. Because of the weight of the rock above, pressure inside the Earth increases as you go deeper. The deeper you go, the greater is the pressure. And in the graph, you can clearly see this. I'll explain a little bit about this. See, for example, this is our Earth's surface. So beneath this surface, there are layers of the Earth, and as you go deeper inside, the pressure increases because of the weight that comes up from above. And in this diagram, you can clearly understand the different layers of the Earth. So above is our Earth's crust, and beneath this there are mantle and core, and these three layers are further subdivided into sublayers. For example, the crust is the uppermost layer. Beneath this is the mantle, and this mantle is made up of two sublayers. One is upper mantle and lower mantle, and the upper mantle is divided into two further layers, which are asthenosphere and lithosphere. And beneath this is mantle, lower mantle, and beneath this is the core, and the core is further subdivided into two layers, and the length of each of this layer varies greatly. For example, the crust, the thickness of the crust varies from about 3 to 5 miles, which is around 8 kilometers under the oceans, and to as much as 25 miles under the continents. And below this, length of this lithosphere is 60 miles. Beneath this asthenosphere is 430 miles, and lower mantle is up to 1,800 miles, which is around 2,885 kilometers. And the outer core extend up to 3,200 miles or 5,155 kilometers. And beneath this is the inner core, which is rigid, and outer core is in liquid phase, and the composition of these layers also varies. In the coming slides we will discuss that. First, the crust. The crust is the layer of the rock that forms Earth's outer skin. The crust is a layer of solid rock that includes both dry land and the ocean floor. The layer of the Earth is much thinner than the layer beneath it. The crust beneath the ocean is called oceanic crust, which consists mostly of rocks such as basalt. And basalt is a very common rock. It is a dark rock with fine texture. And continental crust that forms the continent consists mainly of rocks such as granite. Granite is a rock that is which is also a very common rock. Granite it is usually light in color and has a coarse texture. Next is mantle. Below Earth crust is the mantle. Earth's mantle is made up of rock that is very hot, solid. Scientists have divided the mantle into layers based on physical characteristics of those layers. Overall, the mantle is around 3000 km thick. The uppermost part of the mantle and the crust together form a rigid layer. So, the uppermost part of the mantle and the crust together, these two layers together are known as lithosphere. So these are made up of rock which we see on the surface of the Earth. And beneath the beneath the crust of the Earth is the asthenosphere. So this asthenosphere is hotter and it is under increasing pressure. Like road tar is softened by heat of the sun, this part of the mantle is somewhat soft. It can bend like plastic. This soft layer of mantle is called asthenosphere. In Greek, asthenes means weak. Although this layer is softer than the rest of the mantle, and it is still solid. In the lower mantle below the asthenosphere, the mantle is solid. So the lower mantle is solid because of the high pressure from the layers above. Which are the layers above? The crust, the upper mantle. So these are the layers which are above the lower mantle, and because of the high pressure, this lower mantle is in solid state. And beneath the mantle is Earth core. Earth's core made mostly of the metals like iron and nickel. It consists of two parts, the liquid outer core and the solid inner core. So the core is divided into two parts, the outer core which is in liquid form, and the inner core which is in solid form. So a little bit more about the inner core. The inner core is a dense ball of solid metal. In the inner core, extreme pressure squeezes the atoms of iron and nickel so much that they cannot spread out and become liquid. So that is the reason that the inner core of the Earth is. So thank you very much. It was my little endeavor to teach you geography, and today's lesson was the interior of the Earth. So in this lesson there might be some shortcomings. I will try to improve that in the future lessons. So please do subscribe and comment in the comment section and tell me more which lessons you want to learn with me. I'll try to make some videos for those topics. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to Geography Guruji. Thank you.